Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to address you and share with you a story about an adoption of SAP project. I'm Arijit Mitra and I represent Noida Power Company Limited. We had, as part of Noida Power Company, we had executed a number of SAP projects over decades. But what I would like to share with you is a unique journey, one that we had thought of as a once-in-a-decade exercise, and had turned out into an experience which we never expected. Moving on, I would like to first talk a little bit about our group. Noida Power Company Limited is belonging to the RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, which was formed in 2011, but has origins which is going back to a couple of centuries through multiple generations of entrepreneurship. The group is a diversified one and is present in multiple sectors. Power is, of course, one of the important sectors in which the group is present, but it is also present in manufacturing, it is present in retail, IT-enabled services, media, plantation, as well as sports. I'm sure many of you would have followed Lucknow Supergiant, the representative of Uttar Pradesh in the IPL. So obviously Lucknow Super Giants is a team that is part of our RP Sanjeev Goenka group. And it is having more than 50,000 employees, more than 20 companies, and a gross asset touching nearly 50,000 crores. Talking about our own company, Noida Power Company Limited. So it is an electricity discom and it operates in Greater Noida, which is part of the Delhi NCR region. We had started operations in 1993 with a very modest peak load of 13 MVA. At that time, Greater Noida was predominantly a rural area with patches of industries which were coming up, big industries which were coming up. And over the course of the next 30 years, the area has also seen a lot of change, a lot of development, and today it is a bona fide industrial city which is covering an area of 335 square kilometers. Those 118 villages which we started off with, many of them have got urbanized and all of them are fully electrified. The peak load has crossed 650 MVA as compared to what it was 13 MVA in the very beginning. But in spite of that, we consider ourselves one of the smaller electricity utilities, especially some of the smaller private electricity utilities operating in India. The revenue has crossed 2,200 crores in the last financial year. So it offers a very healthy CAGR over the years, and it has a very young and highly motivated and skilled workforce to boast of. Some of the areas in which Noida Power Company has performed very well over the years, one is of course the T&D loss. When it comes to electricity distribution, T&D loss is one of the most important things that people straight away check. We have maintained a low T&D loss over the years. Last year, the T&D loss was only 7.63%. Again, collection efficiency is something that we take pride in. Last year, it was slightly more than 100%. And we have also excelled in terms of operational parameters, and also there is a huge focus on digitizing operations and reaching out to customers through the digital channels. One of the interesting aspects of Noida Power Company is it's a zero debt company. In fact, it is probably the only electricity distribution utility which is at this time paying a discount, regulatory discount of 10% to its customers. So this is built out of the reserves that have accrued out of the efficiencies of operation over the years. And today we can offer 10% discount on the bill of every customer of Noida Power Company. Noida Power Company has also participated in the rating exercise carried out by the Ministry of Power, and in the integrated rankings carried out by the Ministry of Power for 71 discoms. Noida Power has finished as 7th in 2022 with A+ rating, something that we certainly take a lot of pride in. So far as consumer service is concerned, which was again, there were 41 discoms across the country who had participated in this ranking exercise, rating exercise, and Noida Power finished with A rating. Okay. So, although, to begin with, the company was a very small one. In fact, my association with this company has been over many years. When we started off, it was a very small company, certainly in relation to many other private discoms. We had just about 30 employees. When I started off, it was less than 50 crores. But what was remarkable was, in spite of whatever size the company had, the management always was absolutely focused on standing out, on taking up innovative exercises, innovative distribution practices, trying to create a niche for the company in terms of taking up activities and challenges which were certainly ahead of the curve. So we implemented our first ERP system in the year 2000. I think we were probably the second distribution utility in India to adopt an ERP in the year 2000. SCADA was implemented in 2001, and we were again the first electricity utility in India to adopt the GIS application of G Small World, which has since then been adopted by many other utilities in India. Our SAP journey started in 2005 with the implementation of SAP utilities, because we felt that having implemented an ERP, it was absolutely important for us to embrace a cutting edge, leading edge customer information system. So we implemented SAP utilities in 2005, and after living with it, after stabilizing the operations, when we found that everything is working according to expectations, we migrated our ERP also to SAP. And since then, we have implemented a number of SAP applications over the year. Most of our critical business processes today run on SAP. So we have implemented customer relationship management. We have implemented the IVR on an SAP technology. We have implemented mobile applications on SAP, as well as human capital management, payroll, and process orchestration and process integration, plus the supply relationship management. We continue to utilize reverse auctions on e-procurement portal, which is from SAP only. So over the years, as well as, I missed out, we also use the business intelligence system of ERP for us. Some of the practices that we have developed, because we had lived with the systems, and we felt that we needed to have the right kind of strategy for us to make a success of these projects, because there have been so many projects, a lot of learnings, but what we felt is that rather than be dependent on partners completely, in fact, when we implemented SAP utilities, our IT team was a three-person team, And obviously we felt that this is not going to be a workable proposition unless we develop some level of competence within the organization where we can sort of protect ourselves from over-dependence of the risks of over-dependence on partners. So that is not to say that we're not looking forward to working with partners. We have successful relationships with partners over the years. Wherever the scale of implementation or complexity of implementation has exceeded the capabilities of our teams, we have always reached out, and we have had very successful relationships. But at the same time, our own team has helped us in terms of not only dealing with supporting our end users, but also taking up a number of enhancements where we felt we could actually quickly turn them around and deliver benefit to our organization with certainly at a lower cost. So this, over the years, as we took on more and more challenges, obviously it kind of enhanced the skill levels of our internal team, and that in fact gave us also confidence in terms of adopting new technologies. Because when we started off, there were many technologies where even some of the more knowledgeable ones were telling us, don't go in for it, it's too complex, too much, it will be too much for you as an organization, you're starting off, you better hold back and be conservative. We have not always been conservative, but we have always felt that investing in our own team, in building up competence as well as learning from the projects, has actually given us a major advantage over the years. This has also helped us in executing a number of projects which have won awards, and one of the awards is an award that we got for our chatbot project, which in fact we started off by thinking that this was in December 2018. We thought that, like many other companies, we will award a project to a partner for developing a chatbot. Today, of course, chatbot is far too commonplace. But in 2018, many of the utilities were starting to roll out chatbots for their customers. In fact, it was a group of trainees from within our team who came up with this idea of coming up with a chatbot, and we backed them, and we came up with a project that won an award for innovation. We have also won SAP ACE Awards. We have been recognized by SAP ACE Awards also in successive years. By 2019, when we reached that point, we had already lived with our SAP ERP system, which was SAP ECC 6.0, for nearly a decade. And we felt that time has come for us to leverage the newer technologies. And we felt that S4HANA actually promised us a core which would actually help us take advantage of embedded AI and machine learning, and helping us to mobilize our processes and deliver better analytics to our to our employees who are our internal customers. And so a decision was taken within the organization that the time has come for a migration to a new ERP, which would be our S4HANA system. And we started planning for a project in the year 2000. And we placed orders, we were getting ready for the project, and then, of course, something that many of us never foresaw, COVID overtook us in the year 2020. And in 2020, when the hardware was supposed to arrive in the month of March, suddenly we were approaching a situation where, forget about hardware, the office itself was getting closed down. So the hardware did not arrive. In fact, there were many challenges down the line. But when the hardware arrived, the project did not take off because there were a lot of questions as to whether this is the right time for us to go ahead with all of the uncertainties swirling around us, whether this was the right time for us to take on a project which was obviously going to be a very costly project, one of the costliest SAP software projects that we had undertaken in our organization. So in the meantime, while we were waiting for the dust to settle and for the strategies to be finalized, our in-house team actually started working with the hardware and the software which were already there with us. And so we thought that the first step of any migration project is sandbox migration. Why don't we, at least while we are waiting for the project to take off, why don't we do a sandbox migration ourselves and have a feel of what the entire SAP S/4HANA migration project is going to be. Interestingly, what happened was that the sandbox migration project gave us enough confidence as well as insight for us to decide by December 2020 that this is a project that we will take up ourselves. I mean, even our management said that it has taken them completely by surprise when, as the IT group, we went ahead and said that give us our backing, give us your backing, and we will take up the project ourselves, and we will try to execute it ourselves. We believe that it is possible to do it. In the end, ultimately, we went ahead with this S/4HANA 2020 version, and in fact, we were the first Indian utility to perform a migration from ECC system to S/4HANA. And this was obviously a brownfield implementation, not a greenfield implementation, because we felt that the data that we had with us is too important for us, and that we did not want to migrate to a system where all of the past data is gone. But we were always warned about the complexities of a brownfield migration project, and we decided to take it on nonetheless. So the scope of the project was obviously one, the migration of the core SAP ECC to S/4HANA. But side by side, what also it involved is the migration of the HANA database for a number of other so-called satellite applications that we already had. So while SAP Utilities was part of the core SAP ECC, we had a number of other applications such as CRM, SRM, process orchestration, business intelligence, business objects, solution manager. All of these applications we had to handle, and we had to migrate the database to HANA. So it was obviously a gauntlet laid down for us that there are no half measures. You cannot execute half of the project and then say that, okay, you know, we have arrived. Ultimately, we had to move past the Oracle database and migrate wholesale to HANA. Additionally, the complexity was that we had just not been looking at migration, we were also looking at implementation of a new application, which was the customer engagement application. At that time, it was called customer management. So we adopted the customer interaction center, which would give us the 360-degree customer overview that we so look forward to. So this project started off in 2021, and with the team that we had, it was an entirely in-house effort to begin with, and we had started executing the project, taking help. Obviously, there was a lot of help. One, we were subscribers of SAP Learning Hub, and we felt that for this migration, a lot of learning materials were available from SAP Learning Hub, which were helping the in-house team. There was a lot of documentation that we could take advantage of. Additionally, from SAP Enterprise Support, they had reached out to us. In fact, we did not even do it ourselves. SAP Enterprise Support reached out to us and said that we have come to know that you are taking up this project. We will work with you, work hand in hand with you, do the hand-holding part, and make sure that you have all the available information and the analytics that you need to make sure that your project is on stream and the important areas are taken care of. That was an invaluable support. I mean, given that we did not have any experience in executing that kind of a migration project, the support that we got from the enterprise support, the team provided us a level of support that we simply later on realized we could not do without. The project, as the project went ahead, we were hit by the second wave of COVID. And that basically meant that not only offices were closing down, that was less of a problem. A lot of our team members were actually going down with the infection. In fact, across the organization, it was complete chaos with so many people who were not well or their family members who were extremely unwell, and many people were actually not available for the project. So that definitely created a major headwind for the project. The other thing that hit us virtually at the same time are the wave of resignations that happened in 2021. And this great attrition, which we had heard about, that it may be on the way, this we had heard about in 2020. In 2021, it virtually brought us to our knees. And virtually 70 to 80% of our in-house team ultimately packed their bags, left because they were extremely lucrative opportunities elsewhere. And we were left in a situation where much of the groundwork was done, but the project needed to be taken forward, and we did not have the resources to work with because most of the people with experience and expertise had already left. So ultimately, against obviously our wishes, we ran into a situation where we had to think on our feet and find a way to move the project forward. So what we did is, we resolved to stay on course. We decided not to abandon the project and then go back and again involve a partner. But at the same time, we involved a number of other partners who could actually give us resources on contract for the project. We also tied up with a vendor who could actually do the migration part, because this migration, which is a basic activity, a technical activity, one of the most critical technical activities, this was being handled by our basis team of 4 persons. As it happened, all 4 persons had left during the project. By June 2021, the entire basis team had left. So we had to tie up with another organization so that they could actually support us with these basis activities. We decided to rely on our own team for much of the rest of the activities. The resources that we got on contract, we managed them ourselves and proceeded with the project with our own management. There was a hiatus. There was a period when the project virtually kind of came to a standstill, but within a couple of months, we found the resources, found the direction to turn things around and move, get going again. Ultimately, at the end of the day, in December 2021, we managed to finish the project, and it was a successful project in the sense that when we went live, there were hardly any challenges in terms of stability. The application, when it went live, most of the applications were working stably within a month. We had resolved most of the issues and we were feeling comfortable. But it had been completely a roller coaster ride which we had never anticipated and never experienced also, because most of our major projects were partner-driven projects. So this, having taken on the challenge, it all, of course, gave us a lot of satisfaction that we could actually stay on our feet, manage to finish the project, and still deliver a successful project. We did have to outsource resources because there was no option. But at the same time, when we compared the kind of expenses that we had incurred vis-a-vis the kind of expenses that we were anticipating, we found that we had saved nearly 5 crores, 4.8 crores of savings on consulting fees only by executing this project. To be honest, the saving of expenses was not the motive. But the main reason why we felt that we could take this on is, given the resources that we had, we felt that it was possible for us to execute. But obviously there were challenges that we could never foresee. And it gives us a lot of satisfaction that we managed to still, as an utility, execute this project as an in-house project. A lot of people were actually skeptical. When we took on this project, many people felt that we had taken on too much and it would always be a challenge. So at the end of the day, when we managed to successfully roll out the project, it gave us obviously a tremendous feeling of satisfaction. Going forward, of course, now that we are living with this system and gradually what we are doing is we are putting in place the enhancements that we were actually planning for, that were the primary reason why we went ahead with this project. We have already started bringing in the advantages of machine learning, embedded machine learning within the ERP S4HANA system. We are capitalizing on the mobility advantages of Fiori applications, as well as some excellent analytics that is available as part of embedded analytics. Over a period of 5 years, we feel that this migration project is ultimately going to pay out those benefits that we had envisaged and help us build a core of applications that is going to sustain our initiative to make the organization an agile organization, an organization that can quickly move forward and roll out enhancements in our processes. That's about all. Thank you so much for your attention.